Do you remember Mighty Max? In the mid-90s, this was a toy line that all the kids in my class wanted to collect. You could describe it, but it's not doing it really justice. You could describe it as a male variant of the Polly Pocket craze. Back in those days, I remember I wanted Polly Pocket, but my parents said, nah, that's for girls. Luckily nowadays, the distinction isn't so clear anymore, and girls can play with G.I. Joes and boys can play with dolls. But yeah, in the 90s there was still a shift, a cultural divide between male and female toys. Sad but true. Anyway, so Mighty Max was positioned as the male equivalent to Polly Pocket, and of course I loved it, but I didn't really get them at the time. My parents were, well, they loved Playmobil, they loved Lego, they loved quality toys, but they weren't very big on action figures. I got some G.I. Joes, I got some Jurassic Park, but yeah, my mom didn't really dig the action figures. So the first Mighty Max I got was actually in a burger promotion. So not Burger King, not McDonald's, but Quick, which is a Belgian hamburger franchise. As you can see, the logo is still on there, the Q. And this is, well, a small head from Quick. Opens up, well, should open up. And there you have it, a small Mighty Max. I don't know if you can see it without me having to focus. But yeah, quite the cool head. Perhaps I'll do some inserts with a more detailed Mighty Max. Then on a flea market, well, around the same time, let's say mid to late 90s, I found this one. Very ugly mofo, sort of like a rumpled, crumbly troll-esque hair. And this is sort of a keychain. Opens up. And there's really nothing. Well, normally there's small playsets or at least scenes to act out. This is really just the mouth of the swine-esque beast with a Max figure. Nothing too spectacular. Then in 2001, I think in the year 2000, there was a toy store. There was a Belgian chain of toy stores called Christiaanse, and they were closing shop. So the whole franchise, or the brand of Christiaanse was chapter 4, bankrupt, closed down, and of course all the stores were liquidating their stock, were selling off the inventory in an effort to at least gain some profit or recoup some costs and be able to pay out their employees. So that's when I found, for 100 Belgian francs, which is the equivalent of $2.50, I found the Mighty Max Microheads Lobotics. Yeah, what does it say? His destiny, well, it's in French, German, Spanish, or is it Italian? No, that's Spanish and Dutch. So, son destin est entre tes mains, sein Schicksal in deiner Hand, su destino está en tus manos, sein Lot ligt in jouw handen. Very cool. Collect them all, microheads. And so there's Venom, Lobotics, Melty, Mummy, Rat, Vampire, Rock Monster, and Insect. Very cool. I really love I love the design on those. A very small, great artwork, and of course a very creepy head with what is it? Lobotics. Excellent, really cool. Then in a thrift store, just a few years ago, let's say 2016, 17, I found this one, but sadly without the Max. So this is really just the playset. It's sort of a mummy, I think, or a mad doctor, and Max is supposed to be, well, there's his foot, footprint, but there's no Max. Of course, whenever you find these in a thrift store, Max is always gone. It's just the figures are too small, and people just didn't care enough, or the thrift store employees don't care enough to complete the sets. So yeah, but I wasn't gonna leave this for 20 cents. Perhaps one day I'll find the Max. And then on eBay, just a few years ago, I found 2 more sealed copies. These are the same. I think this was from a British seller selling old stock. I think he had like 50 or 40 copies. In fact, he's still selling them to this day. You can still find the same seller on eBay, but he did bump up his prices. I think I paid 15 per piece like 4 or 5 years ago, and now he's asking 45 per piece. So that's he tripled his prices. These are it's funny, the copyright is the same as my Belgian, or well, at least European copy. So the copyright is distributed by Mattel, California, under license from Bluebird Toys UK Limited, and it's copyright 1993 Bluebird Toys UK. So it's a UK, but as you can see, the text is in Chinese. Well, actually, not even simplified Chinese, but traditional Chinese. And luckily, I have a Chinese buddy, the husband of a friend of my spouse, who's a real Chinese dude. He speaks the language. He also speaks Dutch and English and French, but he's fluent in, well, this is his mother tongue. And I saw him today, so I asked him, is this easy to understand? He said, yeah, it's not simplified Chinese, but it's I can read and I can translate this. So let's listen to what he has to say. What's on this? What's on here?
万能麦斯的命运掌握在你的手中，2合1迷你小魔头，看看你还少哪几个呢？哇，万能麦斯危险了，现在就跟他一起去冒险吧！10怪魔头的吸血怪魔迷你小魔头系列的恐怖世界在你手中，的4岁以上儿童游戏用的。
So yeah, in closing, I don't have the biggest Mighty Max collection, but I really think it's a fascinating toy line. It's it's just very, very small figures in a cool shell, or in a cool playset. And there are bigger playsets. There's like a huge lava mountain that's, well, huge to Mighty Max. It's still only something like this. It's not G.I. Joe huge like the Defiant or the USS Flag, but it's quite huge for Mighty Max. And I have to say, even on the second-hand market, even in this nerdy collector-driven market, Mighty Max on cart, mint on cart, or mint in box is still relatively affordable. You can find these for 45. You can find the bigger ones for 40, 50. So it's not an impossible toy line or toy series to collect for. My Mighty Max collection is very small, as you can see, just 5 or 6 bits and pieces. And I once had the Lava Mountain from a thrift store, but it was really missing every little piece. So I just sold it again on a flea market for like 2 or 3 euros, what I paid for it, because it would frustrate me, 20 or 30 missing pieces. If you have any Mighty Max for sale and you want to get rid of it and you have a good price, contact me below, because I'm always in the market for more Mighty Max. The power in my hands.